In the morning, I stepped outside and froze. My entire yard was flooded with water. Karen stood by the fence, arms crossed, watching me with a smug smile.
As the head of the HOA, I declare that your property is now a swamp, though I guess you've already figured that out yourself.
She sneered, enjoying my reaction. She didn't even try to hide her involvement. If she thought I would just accept it, she was wrong. That night, I flooded her yard too, but not with water. I covered it in concrete, and this feud had started long before that morning. Karen, my neighbor, was always troublesome. Every time she said something, it seemed like a minor complaint, but over time I realized her irritation was growing. One day, she came up to me and said,
Your tree is too big. It shades my garden. It's unsafe. It needs to be cut down.
I looked at her small plot, where not a single tree grew, and said, The tree is healthy and it doesn't bother anyone. There will be no cutting. But she didn't give up. A few days later, she came again, this time with a different complaint.
Your plants are blocking my walkway. I can't walk through my own yard.
I sighed, but tried to stay calm. I'll trim them. Everything will be fine. Her face became even more tense and she walked away, but I knew it wasn't over. And indeed, a few days later, she returned with another complaint.
Your fence is too high. I can't see what's happening on the other side, and your dog is always barking.
I shrugged. The fence was built according to the rules, and the dog isn't a problem. Karen didn't stop. Her constant complaints started to irritate me. She began spying on me over the fence, and I noticed her peeking through my windows. And one morning, I woke up to find my yard flooded. Water was standing on my land, covering the neighbors' properties, including Karen's. I didn't immediately understand how it happened, but soon I figured out it was her doing. When I approached the fence, Karen was standing on her side, watching me. With a calm expression, she said,
Oh, it looks like there's water in your yard. Too bad I don't have a garden pump.
I immediately realized she was behind it. The small complaints had turned into outright aggression, and now she was trying to punish me for not giving in to her demands. I was furious, but I knew I couldn't just let her manipulate my property. I had to take action. That night, when Karen was asleep, I made my move. I called a concrete truck, which quietly pulled up to her yard. Over the next few hours, concrete poured onto her land, slowly covering everything. When morning came, I stood and watched as Karen, stepping outside, saw that her yard was now covered with a thick layer of concrete.
What have you done? This is impossible.
She screamed, running toward me. I calmly replied, You flooded my yard. This is my response. She fell silent, standing in shock and not knowing how to react. I stood, watching her confusion, and although she tried to find words, I could tell she understood. Manipulation would no longer work. From then on, she stopped complaining, and her presence on the property became rare. This was a lesson for her. If you try to manipulate people, be prepared for the consequences.